Hey, this is your girl, Miss Yellow Diva, bringing you another episode of The Shy. Season 6, episode 12. Give me a thumbs up if you like, share, subscribe. Uh, if you like the content, get down in the comments so we can talk about it. Anyway, Bianca and Douda is getting it in, smashing in the little club there, and Tiff is harvesting weed, and so she brings the weed to the club, and she sees Douda and Bianca, all hugged up in the corner, and so she leaves. Brittany visits her brother, Bakari, at the house, and Bakari is on his phone, and he said he's writing a book about his life, and Brittany was like, so you gonna tell him about what happened to you in foster care? And he was like, yeah, I guess so, I'll see. He said, you gonna tell him about how you killed Coogie's Coogie's killer? And he was like, I guess so. She was like, so who gonna read this? She was like, is the feds gonna read this? Cause you could go to jail. And so he said, I'm gonna change the names and stuff. So she was like, I don't really think this is a good idea. Basically what she was trying to say. Then Bakari goes to visit Professor Gardner, and he shows him all his little notes on his phone, and he was Professor Gardner like, you might need some paragraphs and some punctuation in here, honey, because I can't read none of this. So he said, you should invest in getting a laptop, and and then because he was like, I can text it to you. He was like, why don't you email it to me? And so he needs to get a laptop so he can get his little email going. Emmett talking to Tiff. He telling her that Douda wants him to kill Alicia. He confesses that Douda wants him to kill Alicia. And she was like, you just can't be killing my boyfriend's mama. And he was like, I don't want to do it. He said, but I need to talk to her. So they go back and forth, and so she has to take him over there to see her. Victor having protests outside his office because he kind of like backtracked on defunding the police, and I guess to get the mental health clinic, he had to refund the police. I don't know what word that's called, but it's not refund. But he gotta fund the police now, okay, to get his mental health clinic. Papa and Ebony is at the little destitute Smokies because nobody wants to come in there after they got shot up. So it's basically destitute right now. Papa said he gonna accept her dad's invitation, and she was like, I didn't even know about an invitation. She said, to do what? And he said to be his assistant. Because she asked him, was he going to be a manager? And he was like, no, I'm going to be your dad's assistant. And she had no idea. She even asked him to be his assistant. And then Ebony said, you better be careful. And I said, oh, what she know about her daddy? Oh, you better be careful. And then she said, "Your dad, you no," he said, she said, "Your dad used to think that he was the flashy preacher." And so he was like, "Well, my dad could be wrong." And she was like, "So he could be wrong about my dad, but he right about me." Mm, touche, touche, Papa. Okay. Papa couldn't say anything. He said, "But I think it would be good for me." And so Ebony said, "I hope so." Oh, what you know about your daddy? Tiff tells Bianca, "I don't fuck with Douda." Bianca said, "What that got to do with me?" So she was like, "Well, I saw you and Douda in the club." And so she was like, "Well, what that got to do with you?" I said, "Bianca is in there." And so she said, "Well, we can't do business if he together if he's gonna be involved." And she was like, "This my shit." She was like, "This my shit. This club is my shit. You ain't got nothing to do with this." She was like, everything with Douda is transactional, basically. I said, "Okay." So Zay tells Douda that Brittany can do a whole song, and I guess he was listening to it on the radio and stuff, but she can't give you no information on Bakari. So he was like, "Yeah, let's go find her." It's like, man, shut up. Yeah, you ain't gonna do nothing. You ain't gonna bust a grape. Everybody that tried to kill you still living. Everybody, even Alicia. Alicia, Rob, Emmett. Everybody tried to kill you, still living. You ain't busting a grape. Anyway, so Emmett visits Alicia, and Rashad has to pat him down before he goes into the room. I said, "Oh Lord." So Emmett tells Alicia, "Douda asked me to kill you," and so she was like, "Okay." Why you ain't kill me? And see, he said, "If I don't kill you, he gonna kill me." She said, "You a dead man walking there." Alicia cracked me up. And so he said, what she say? But we both won't do the dead. And Rob, me and Rob couldn't kill him, so I think you can do it. And so she was like, "Why do black women have to do everything?" I said, "Yes, Lord." Say it, Alicia. Say it. And so he said, I want, Emmett says, "I accept the offer you gave me to buy out Douda from the restaurant." And she was like, "Well, that restaurant kind of destitute right now because, Douda's boy shot her up." And he said, "Yeah, but we gonna build it back and all the other stuff." So I guess Alicia took the bait. So she said she gonna hire him some security, and when she gets there, all the books better be in line when she get there. My God, then. Pastor Zeke wants what's that boy named Papa to preach. I guess the teen service or something. Excuse me, and he did. And he did better than he expected. While Jake checking out the first lady. Rashad Darnell's talking to Rashad. He was like, I got this job over here. You want to join me? And he said, he said, I got. Rashad said, I got a job, and he was like, where you work? He said, I work for Alicia, and he was like, Darnell cracked me up too. Are you her new gigolo? I said, oh, He was like, no, I'm her head of security. And so, and then he had that little shaft jacket on, and he was like, "Is this where you got this jacket from?" And he was like, "Yeah." He was like, "That seemed like one of." And he said, "This old coat seemed like it's from the '80s. It's probably one of her old men coat." And so, he said, "So you may need to check the pockets for some cocaine." I said, "Ooh, Darnell, you is shady." And Rashad said, "She runs respectable business," and he was like, "She run a business. I don't know how respectable it is, but he said, just be careful, brother." Douda brought some flowers to Bianca, and Tiff was in the club. And Douda was like, "Well, how's your boyfriend? I heard he got shot up." Oh, Douda. So Tiff trying to get her lick back, and so she was like, he was like, these are for Bianca. Give these to her. And he was like, she was like, she ain't even that into you. She said everything is transactional between you and her. I said, you trying to get your lick back. I don't think that's gonna work. She's trying to get your lick back. After he asked you how your boyfriend is, because he got shot up. Little Ronnie is sick. Yeah, they take him to the hospital. I don't understand why they take him to the hospital, and then they asking about the history of his father. Why she ain't say that, his father dead? Okay? Why she ain't say his father dead? But she ain't say his father dead. And so they like, well, what's the history, because he could have some kind of, congenital history. I don't know. I don't understand why they don't just run tests. They can test for all of that kind of stuff. Okay? So they can test for sickle cell. They can test because it's probably sickle cell. Okay? But they can test for sickle cell. They can test for Tay-Sachs disease. They can test for cystic fibrosis. They can test for all of that stuff. So I don't know why they just don't run a battery of tests. Now he gonna have to get some blood drawn, but I don't see why they can't run a battery of tests after she tell him that his daddy dead. But no, she gonna ask Fatima because the Ronnie is a product of SA. So she's going to ask Fatima to get the DNA from the SA kit. And so they can run and try to find out his DNA. Yeah, whatever. So, anyway, Bianca is selling this weed as luxury weed. So the weed comes in a hand-painted cigar box, and she's selling those hand-painted cigar box with a whole thing of weed in there, rolled up pretty and everything, for $5,000 a piece. And she said, because this is luxury weed. And Tiff said, Douda can't touch any of this profit. And Alicia says, that is something to celebrate. Let's see. Douda goes to the studio to, harass Brittany. Because that's all he gonna do is harass her. Because he ain't gonna do nothing else. He ain't busting a grape. And so she said, he said, I'm paying you $30,000. You can't even give me no information. She said, well, I got some information. He writing a book. And he was like, oh, that's not good. And so she said, yeah, I told him that. So he said, well, he encouraged him to get some different hobbies. Okay. Tiff counting money, and the Douda's boy, I forgot his name, come in, the one who tried to kill Rob, and then then he said, no, you gonna cut me in on this weed. She count money, so he come in and he was like, okay, this is my cut. And so he was about to walk out, and then Alicia was like, my son made a stupid deal with you. And so he was like, yep, pretty much. And so she said, all deals can be renegotiated. And he was like, nope, not this one. Nope. No, you can't renegotiate with me. No, you can't. No. We ain't doing that. We're not doing that. You can't renegotiate with me. So, sorry for you. Anyway, Bakari goes to Douda, asks for advance so he can buy him a laptop. And he was like, so, you can write your book? Now, I think Brittany was the only person he told that he was writing a book. So he should try to figure out how Douda knows that he writing a book. Did it come from Brittany? We will soon find out. Let me see. So like I said, Keisha wants Fatima, Victor's girlfriend, to track down her baby daddy's DNA. Let me see. Okay, so Bianca and Douda smash again in a hotel room or whatever, and then he get up and took some money on a nightstand, and he said that's for last night's transaction. So she knows that Tiff, said something about it. So Alicia takes Tiff to a high-end party where all these upper echelon people, judges, senators and all that other stuff. And she introduced Tiffany as her son's fiance. Okay, I said, oh, when did she like Tiffany? Honey, where did that come from? But she introduces her to one of the judges, and I think that judge played on Girlfriends as Maya's mama. I seen her in a lot of stuff, but so Bianca comes in, takes Tiffany off to the side, and she was just like, listen, all these women in here got to where they are not gossiping behind each other's backs. And so she was like, so she kind of pissed off that she told Douda what she said. And so Tiffany was like, I'm sorry. And she said, you sure are. I said, oh, no, you didn't. No, you didn't, Bianca. Douda receives a box. And so he was like, Zay, open that box. And he was like, you ain't never asked me to open nothing before. So he was like, because he thought it was a bomb in it. But, and it was a tie, and it said, you will look good in the casket. I was like, oh, somebody trying to get him. Rashad talking to Victor, he said he got a job, and he said he working for Alicia, and Victor was like, I don't think that's a good idea, but Rashad was like, she's a respectable businesswoman, and everybody was like, no, and then all of a sudden, he talking to Fatima, and then all of a sudden he get arrested. So that's where it ends. So we will come back next week to see what happened with Victor. Well, Victor was kind of like off the whole episode, because it seemed like he like had a bad ulcer or something, because he was just like he didn't like being a politician. Basically, I don't think he really liked being a politician, about how he gotta bend over backwards and take hush money and all that other stuff. I don't think being a politician is for him. But it is what it is. But Victor gets arrested, so we'll see what goes on next week. Like, share, subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you later. Miss Yellow Diva signing off. Peace.